Hello and welcome to this month's SMF Soap Challenge. I'm Sapnista and I'll be running the challenge for November. This month we're going to combine a theoretical challenge with a technical challenge. So what we're going to do is we're going to think about colours. We're going to learn how to create a colour palette using an online interactive colour wheel, and then we will attempt to replicate that colour palette in our final soap design. So the first thing we need to do is find the design tool, which is an interactive colour wheel. If you search the internet for interactive colour wheel, then lots of different hits come up. The first one is one designed by Sessions College. I think if you've never used one before, then this is a really good one to use because it's fairly simple. It doesn't have too many options on it. It's not too difficult to use. But if you have used them before and you have a preferred one, then that's absolutely fine. You can use one of those instead. So I've loaded up the Sessions College colour calculator. And first we have the first box where you pick a colour. So you want to choose a colour that you will then build the rest of your colour palette around. So you can either do that by using a hex code. All internet colours have a hex code attached to them, and so if you Google, you can find lots of hex code palettes that give you the numbers, or you could Google a specific colour like ruby red or sea green and it will give you the hex code, and you can just type that in and it will bring it up for you. Or you can click at this little white box on the right and that will bring up a spectrum, and you can search down the spectrum to find the colour that you're interested in. So I'm going to pick a teal green for our demonstration. Then the next step is to choose a colour harmony. So designers use these colour harmonies as a helpful way of deciding which colours will go nicely together. But there's also a really nice article on tigercolour.com which explains exactly what the harmonies are and explains a bit more about how to use them. So I think everybody would have heard of complementary colours. They're ones that are directly opposite each other on the colour wheel. So if we click the complementary button, it brings up ochre red, which is directly opposite the teal. So the second colour harmony on the wheel is monochromatic. That's just basically different shades of the same colour used in combination with each other. So the third harmony is analogous. So those are colours that are next to each other on the colour wheel. The third harmony is split complementary, and so this is a slight variation of the original complementary scheme. And in addition to the original base colour, you get two colours that are adjacent to the complement rather than directly opposite the original colour on the wheel. I think these look really nice. This is one of my favourite schemes. Then you can also have triadic, which is colours that are three colours that are evenly spaced around the colour wheel. And the fourth colour scheme is tetradic, where you use four colours arranged around the wheel in two complementary pairs. So if you have a read on tigercolour.com, it tells you how to use some of these colour harmonies. So for example, the tetradic colour scheme works better if you let one colour be dominant. So you can alter, once you've got your colours, you can alter further. You can mess around and change the saturation. So you can make them lighter. And then still have one really bright red in with the mix. Maybe make our original colour a bit paler as well. So you can basically play around with the brightness of your colours in order to further modify your colour scheme a bit. If you want to, you can unlock the dots from the colour scheme and have a play and move one of them around and create an entirely different colour. So now I've explained all the colour harmonies. and you can see the colour results at the bottom. Once you're happy and you've played around and decided exactly what you want your colour scheme to look like, you click Get Colour Scheme and it brings up a new page, and that new page has all the shades of your colour on there, so you can print that off and take it away and work with it to try and replicate that in your soap. So I've created my colour scheme now. I've seen, as it's getting close to Halloween, I've seen lots of lovely bright purples and oranges and greens around at the moment, so I'm going to make a Halloween themed soap, and I chose a purple, a bright purple that I already have a mica that matches very closely. Then I chose the split complementary colour scheme, which brought up a sort of lime green and a really bright orange as complementary colours, and then I've decided to add in a black just to add a bit of interest to the colour scheme. So I'm going for really bright, vibrant colours this time, but you're free to do exactly what you want with your own colour scheme. You can choose pales, you can literally do whatever you want in order to create something that you think looks nice. And so for the challenge, all I want you to do is show me your finished colour palette, a picture of it, and you also need to show me your finished soap that you've used the colour palette to create, and tell us a bit about whether you used a colour harmony or whether you just used the wheel to pick random colours that you thought went nice together. Just tell us a bit about your process of creating your colour palette. So I'm going to show you the soap I made next, but I'm looking forward to seeing all of your lovely entries, as I do every time that I run the challenges, and thank you for participating, I really appreciate it. So now I'm going to finish making my actual soap. I've got all my colours mixed up into pots ready, and I have my lye and my oils here. The oils already have the fragrance added and some trisodium citrate, and I've got 2 spare pots here which I'm going to mix all the colours up in. So now I'm going to add my lye to the oils and stick blend. So this is a fairly slow moving recipe, so I've just stick blended until it's just about emulsified, because I want enough time to mess around trying to get my colours right. And so now I'm going to divide the batter mixture that I have into 4. So I've got my mica mixed in a bit of oil from the total oil weight for the recipe. And first I'm going to make my green. So I just pour it in and stir it. So remember that you want to make the colour ever so slightly darker than the colour on your colour palette, because as the soap sets it will change colour slightly and fade to a slightly lighter shade. Now I have all my shades of colour mixed up ready. They're all nicely mixed in, and I'm going to get my mould and put it in the middle of the picture for you. I want a sort of almost spider web effect, so I'm going to pour the soap into one corner and alternate pouring the different colours until it's spread all the way across the bottom of the container. So we'll start with some black, and I think we'll go orange, then purple, then green, and keep alternating. So now I have my soap, which is basically lots and lots of stripes, and I'm going to give it a sort of cobweb style Halloweeny effect by taking a wooden skewer and start in the bottom right hand corner and go all the way out towards the side, and then I'll do several more drags through my batter. So here's my finished Halloween soap. I hope you've all enjoyed watching me make it, and I can't wait to see everybody else's entry in the challenge. Thanks for taking part, everyone.